In the search for more revenue, Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast are starting to focus in on areas of the Magic the Gathering experience that will cost players more than they realize. For Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast, it's all about the almighty dollar. Welcome back, everyone. MTG Moxman here, and thanks a lot for hanging out with me on the channel again today. When you look at a company like Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast with shareholders to answer to, you can understand how a mind of a company like that will work. They have to keep generating profits to keep the shareholders happy. Understanding the beast will let you know where it's going to go hunting for its next meal. They just failed with the M30 Collector Booster Pack Proxy Nightmare Scam. Whatever you want to call it, however you want to package it, it didn't go over very well with the player base. They will take that back to the table, put the dead carcass on there in the ivory tower and say, what went wrong? They will look at it, they will examine the innards to discuss what happened. And what they're going to come up with at the end is the fact that although players won't accept it, they know that the players are still spending high value dollars on certain items, and those are found in the reserve list. When you're looking at reserve list shopping, and you look at a dual land, or you look at a metalworker, Tolarian Academy, a Moxen, however you're looking at it, some of those cards are thousands and thousands of dollars, and Hasbro and Wizards wants to take a snapshot. They want to capture a piece of that revenue some way, somehow. And they're still trying to figure out how to do it without upsetting the player base. They know they can't reprint it. That'll cost mass outrage. They're still worried about lawsuits probably. Like, there's a whole litany of things that would happen if they triggered like an atom bomb like that. Excuse me. But they want to figure out a way. And the M30 packs was their first attempt. They're not done yet. They will come back to this in another way and try to find a way to capture that money, because when you look at the people spending money on the reserve list, even when it's a deal for a low-end reserve list card of a couple of bucks, they want to have a chance at that money. When you look at Secret Layers, that's their way of recapturing lost revenue from sealed product that's already been opened and bring it back directly to them. They want to do the same thing with reserve list cards, and although most people don't see it yet and they haven't realized that's what we're trying to do, I can see it as clear as day. I can see it because I would want to do the same thing. So when we go through today's video, and it's a Hot 10 reserve list video, and by the way, I want you to pay attention to these sales, and I want you to go over the numbers with me as we go through this video from number 10 to number 1 and realize the amount of money we're talking about. And the players buying these cards are not all whales. They're just players who recognize the secondary value of owning reserve list cards like this and adding it to their collections. Wizards wants to find a way to take that revenue and put it directly into the pocket of Hasbro and their shareholders to keep everyone happy, to keep that market price moving along. So let's go through the video. Let's take a look at this, because you really can't underestimate how badly they want money. It's all about the revenue, and they're going to find a way. Even if they have to reopen a new legacy vintage style product directly aimed at old school players, just like a Modern Masters type thing, they can go back and do it, and they will. I've stated this for the last couple of years. At some point, they're going to recognize the value of reprinting cards in a higher end fashion, which means taking a card that's, reserve list, finding a better way of printing it that's not breaking reserve list code and adding to it. So maybe not a dual land, but some kind of hybrid dual land thing that they could put into a vintage legacy style game at a higher price. So let's go ahead and take a look at these cards. And again, pay attention to the sales. They are exceptionally high. And that is something that Hasbro and Wizards will be paying attention to. Let's take a look. Starting in at number 10 is Tundra. Revised edition, 32 sales, or $15,000 US in sales in a 1 week period. If you don't think that Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast wants a piece of that pie, you're kidding yourselves. They will do whatever it takes to get back to that table and bring those profits home to Hasbro. Number 9 is Soldevi Excavations, 33 sales, only representing $660, but that's still a phenomenal amount of money for just 33 copies of a card, right? That most people don't even use, right? It's a channel card, but most people don't use it that often. Now, number 8 is Taiga. That is $14,500 in sales in a 1 week period. The dual lands this week are off the charts. I don't know what happened, but it's a massive amount. And the volume of the sales, which is not that many cards, is it? It's only 42 sales, but the amount of money, the dollar amount, is something that Wizards wants to get their hands on. Number 7 is Savannah, and when you're looking at that card, it's $16,000 for just 46 sales. Okay, $16,000 US. Guys, we are starting to talk in tens of thousands of dollars. Number 6, Volcanic Island, 50 sales. Market price $749 a copy. Yeah, we are talking people buying it, wanting it for Commander. But the value dollar added, that's $40,000 US for this one card, 50 sales. Number 5, we're talking about Tropical Island, 52 sales this week, or $28,000 in sales. Again, a massive amount of money that Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast would want to get their hands on. Who wouldn't? If you could figure a way of doing it, getting players hyped up enough to buy it, and continue propagating that profit for year after year in a very limited run is something they want to get their hands into. Okay, number 4 this week is going to be Underground Sea in your Hot 10. We're talking a yellow brick road that is on fire this week. Now, when you take a look at this, 54 sales or $40,000 again. $40,000 for 54 sales. $750 per sale, guys. Now we go down to number 3 this week, and that is going to be Badlands. 55 sales or $20,000 US. It's not even the highest price card, but more copies sold. Another amazing card that players have been buying. This just shows you what we're at. I couldn't believe the numbers when I started looking through this week. Number 2 still represents 60 sales or $19,200 US. This is your number 2 card. It's a dual land. $19,000. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the number 1 card. This was the hottest selling card on the Yellow Brick Road journey to number 1. Plateau. Plateau's number 1. 67 sales, market price of $329.34 a copy, which represents $21,000 in sales, guys. When you take a look at this Hot 10, you see amazing sales, right? I see beyond that. I see those amazing sales, which players have spent hard-earned money buying phenomenal Magic cards to add to their collection. But I also see lost revenue, lost profits from a card that came out 30 years ago that Wizards has yet to find a way to tap into the psyche of players and allow them some way of accessing that revenue for themselves. When you look at the Power 9, the dual lands, all these amazing cards from 30 years ago, 30 years of lost revenue that Wizards, Hasbro want to get their hands on. They want to find a way of circumventing and accessing. And the M30 packs was their first attempt to access that secondary market, to get extra revenue in a gambler's premium style way. And we all said no. But when you saw those sales, $214,000 plus spent buying those cards in a 1 week period, to somebody at Hasbro, at Wizards of the Coast, they're going, how do we get our hands on that money? What can we do to draw the players out to buy that product from us? That's where we're at. And that's what I see. I can see them trying to find a way, a chink in the armor, just like we did with them, with denying them our revenue. They want to find a way that we will find acceptable. The idea of bringing a premium version of the game, a higher end game of a legacy vintage format, just meant for whales, just meant for the top echelon earners of life to play, that's where we're probably headed at some point soon. Most people hate to think about it. You hate to admit that it could happen. But we already have collector boxes that cost hundreds of dollars more than a set box, than a draft box, than commander decks. Like, there's so many different revenue streams they want to access. And this is just another way for them to draw in more money. Doesn't cost them any more money to print the cards, but they may have to make up premium versions of these cards. A Mox that taps for 2 mana. A time walking card that lets you take 2 turns. Some crazy broken format to get players in there, but paying a top dollar premium might be the way that they're headed in the future, in the next couple of years. Because I looked at those sales and I realized how much they're missing out on. And that's what they're mad about. That's what they're bitter about as a company. How do we get in that front door? And the players are going to accept it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments section about the idea of those kind of sales leading to Wizards wanting more. They're standing in line. They got their hand out. They want that money. They've done it with modern cards. They got secret layers. How are they going to do it? Getting hold of vintage legacy cards on the reserve list? They have a few options open to them. I'm looking to see what you guys think. Now we get to take that moment to thank each and every patron on this channel for supporting me, letting me and allowing me to make the content I do each and every day. Thanks again to each and every one of you. Now, I was going to put this in a separate video, but you guys made it till the end, so I'm just going to tell you guys here at the end. I intended on doing a second video, but I couldn't quite get it all together. So thanks for being here and being that special group you are. For the patrons, for YouTube membership members, instead of a monthly giveaway in the month of December, we'll be doing a weekly giveaway. Each and every live stream I have through the month of December is going to have a giveaway wheel where you guys get to win reserve list cards. Thanks a lot for being here, guys. My little way of saying thank you for supporting the channel, and thanks for being here. There may be a few other hidden things throughout the month. You got to pay attention at the end of my videos, though, to see what might be coming up. Thanks a lot for being here, guys. I look forward to having a holiday season knockout party with you. See you guys soon.